stage Cicy, who is a current teacher at Cheverus High School, coming to us by way of Skidmore and Harvard University. She's been, she recently received an award for Formal Educator of the Year in 2016 by the New England Environmental Education Alliance.
Good morning, Portland. It's so wonderful to be here, but in preparing for today, I was in a little bit of disbelief. Why are we marching for science? It doesn't make any sense. My name is Cicy. I am a science teacher at Cheverus High School. It's a Jesuit school, and our mission is rooted in the context of community to transform the hearts and minds of young people so that they'll lead lives of service. I've also been a Portland public school teacher, a Boston public school teacher, and I know I'm in allegiance with all teachers in this work for greater purposes. Today, we have so much to be grateful for. I can see you with my vision correcting lenses. I can feel it when you shine on me, and Portland is shining today. I'm alive because some ancestor of mine took antibiotics 3/4 of a century ago. When I hike in the woods or on Congress Street in the rain, I know cotton will not kill me because I would have reached for something more plastic. Okay? I don't think of science as divisive. In my life, science unites. You know, English is not my first language. It's not my husband's first language either. And we've flown our family across an ocean to see our ancestral homeland. My husband drove 100 miles on a regular basis during early courtship just to see me. And my favorite thing to do in the world is to bike the Acadia carriage trails. So we have spent a lifetime, many lifetimes, reaping the rewards of the work of pioneers, innovators, engineers, doctors, naturalists, home cooks, and gardeners. Science helps us lead better lives. Just think of the ingenuity of that man who invented the binder clip. Louis Blatsley, I found out, did this 100 years ago. Did he think 100 years ago there would be 10-minute long YouTube videos coming up with ingenious ways of using his original design? So from my seat of privilege, science has done me quite a lot of good. And my son too, those great soccer inserts to protect the shins. So why in the world are we marching today? I got an answer for you, and it's not that simple. Let us consider for whom science has not been a hero. The cotton farmer in India who can't get out from under the debt of non-heirloom seeds. The corn farmers in America who can't legally collect their own seeds from their crops. Rising obesity rates, bees that are no longer, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, melatonin levels in our bodies that haven't evolutionarily caught up to night lights. Science have brought these changes as well. And here's when the story gets interesting. In countries where certain pesticides have been banned, bees have returned. Should we try the same thing here?
Yes.
Plaque accumulates in the brains of children in megacities with tremendous air pollution, and like children of Michigan who have high lead levels, we've measured depressed cognitive abilities. Cancer rates are really high around some well poisoned by industry. Do you think industry and cities should find new ways?
Yes.
A building can't really handle 8 floors of textile workers and the throng of associated machinery. It collapses, many die, so First Nations can afford a shirt for every day of the season. Science discovers that the cheapest supply sources and structures aren't always the best choices if we want to work for thriving human beings. In these cases, allies, advocates and those liberated from oppression have used science as a shield and armor, a sword for those who dwell in what Naomi Klein calls sacrifice zones, against exploitation, abuse, negligence. It isn't really science we're marching for, but the use of science as an accountability tool, science as a siren for responsibility. When we get to use science to say, like Chris Rock did in Head of State, that ain't right, then science in service to all becomes science at odds with that used to serve a few. Let's be clear today that we aren't marching for a celebration of benign observations and optimistic new technologies that will solve our world problems. Scientists, lawyers, doctors, school teachers, plumbers, mechanics, artists, you name it. All of us who make up society, we use the basic processes of science to make claims supported by evidence to try something new. We keep some of the new, we discard some of the new. Science is not distinct from our human experience. It's part of our genome, our epigenome, our culture, our fitness. We are here because of science. We exist. Let us beware when some force attempts to engage us in battle that causes us to define science as unique, unnatural, or, remember I come from Cheverus, unreligious. I am a teacher from a faith-based school. However, I walk among loved ones and friends who hold the view that religion is the enemy of science. Suspend that bias for a moment and open yourself to an alternative. Whatever dualities are used to pit science against an opponent, I urge you to carefully consider if that battle is truly the work that's going to make us better. I argue that these battles are distractions from our true purpose, to defend human dignity, to pursue happiness, reduce suffering, and to realize the consequences of our interconnectivity. We're marching for inconvenient science. Our moral compass around sharing natural resources, it's relative, it can change. Some time ago, they said the solution to pollution was dilution. Today, the solution to pollution is compartmentalization, but more arrestingly, some scientists suggest that the solution to pollution might be to change or restrain production and consumption. Whoa, that's scary. Science has irksomely become a mirror of responsibility and regulations for the protection of our commons. Science has challenged the myth of waste, the myth of a plentiful world. Science has discovered we actually have to share. Even though it rubs that my beautiful daughter, so gifted, kind, smart, and loving, can't be a Catholic priest yet, I want to share a quote from Pope Francis, who I do have great reverence for. And he said this: "Love overflowing with small gestures of mutual care is civic and political. It makes itself felt in every action that seeks to build a better world. We must regain the conviction that we need one another. We have a shared responsibility for others in the world, and that being good and decent are worth it." We're called to build structures. This is me again. We're called to build structures to better hold us together, to remind us of how we're so well bound to each other. Science teaches us that our actions have consequences beyond our immediate view. We don't know how far the good one can do reaches, how many points it might ricochet from and produce unanticipated further impact. At every turn, at every act, we are compelled to make as much good in the world as we can. As teachers, we aim high and we aim wide with our lessons, because every person is a possible agent of good. And as teachers, isn't that our greatest purpose? To inspire the will to work for each other. Today, we march for science as a way to secure greater good for all. Science is for good. Science is for life. Science is for all of us. Science is for sharing.
Give it up for Cicy folks! I would next like to welcome to the stage Ruth Kervish-Allen, who is the Executive Director of the Maine Math and Science Alliance. She has her PhD in Environmental Science and STEM Education. Her excellent organization puts on or sponsors events such as the Maine